Now more than ever, American women of all backgrounds and cultures must stand together as a united front, and what better time to ignite this unification than during Women's History Month? In celebration of all the significant contributions of all women, you're watching Wonder Girls United, a virtual campaign to learn and explore the extraordinary life stories of iconic and influential female figures who have made an impact on women's empowerment. As your Wonder Girls host, I am proud to take you on this journey, along with other aspiring high school and college girls who will interview a multicultural group of phenomenal women to share our mission in building bridges of understanding and collaboration. Thank you for watching and enjoy the show.
Hi, I'm Irene Zervoudis.
And I'm Natalie Maniscalco, and we are the co-founders of Wonder Girls, an after-school program for high school girls that builds confidence, community, and teaches our girls the necessary leadership and business skills to effectively grow and thrive, no matter what educational or career path they may choose.
As a mother of 3 teenage girls, I know firsthand how bumpy and crazy the road to parenting can be. I want to teach them everything they need to know to survive in this life, but I know I can't do it alone. Our schools and teachers are also overwhelmed, and with the alarming statistics that 7 in 10 girls believe they are not good enough or do not measure up in some way, this is where Wonder Girls can help.
We believe that every Wonder Girl deserves the opportunity to thrive as leaders of their own lives despite economic, social, or educational challenges. We bring together a powerful network of diverse and professional women to teach, lead, inspire, and empower our Wonder Girls, supporting both their personal and professional growth.
We encourage them to help others who are less fortunate, instilling a sense of social responsibility, and to work hard to earn their way to Wonder Girls Scholarship at the end of the program.
We ask you to support and donate to our mission because these young, aspiring Wonder Girls will be the future female leaders of our tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Rachel Matos, co-founder of Mykahita, a subscription box featuring artisanal, handcrafted products made by artisans who live in the towns and villages of Mexico and beyond. Mykahita may mean little box, but the joy and happiness that it brings our members and our community is huge. Our mission is to give our members and our community unique items so that they can create memorable experiences at home while also supporting artisans. Our theme boxes include an array of categories, starting with home decor, fashion, lifestyle, cultural staples, and so much more. If you'd like to learn more about Mykahita, or if you'd like to join our community, stop by mykahita.com. We'd love to have you. Salud!
Hi, I'm Victoria Zervoudis. I am 15 years old and a freshman at Pascack Valley High School in Bergen County, New Jersey. I am super excited to be a Wonder Girl and to be part of this awesome campaign. Today, I will be interviewing an incredible woman, Dr. Kerry Perkins, who you might have seen in the news this past summer as her and her husband proudly stood in unison and in love in their wedding attire during the protests. Or you can often find Dr. Perkins on Instagram dishing out fun videos to keep us girls and mothers-to-be in the know when it comes to women's health issues. Dr. Perkins is an obstetrician and gynecologist and a captain in the United States Army Reserve. How's that for girl power? Originally from Jamaica, she received her Bachelor of Science in Kinesiology, Exercise and Sports Science from Temple University. She has a Master of Science degree in Biomedical Sciences from the Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine, where she also received her medical degree, and an Executive Master in Business Administration from St. Joseph's University. She has most recently traveled to Ghana, Africa, and Jamaica on medical missions to serve in clinics and hospitals. The honors and awards go on, and it is such a privilege to introduce Dr. Kerry Perkins. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be a part of our Wonder Girls United campaign. You've accomplished so much and truly are an inspiration to all women, especially young girls who aspire to be in the medical field or pursue a career in the military. I was really interested when I heard that stuff about you. I was really excited to get to interview you. Tell us, why did you choose to highlight this woman from your culture, and how has she played a significant role in your life?
Yes, Maya Angelou is a well-known poet. She's an activist. She's done and written a lot of pieces that throughout her lifetime of being, while she was here, she really touched many, many, many lives of women because of how inspirational her and values that her writings kind of portrayed to people. And so this passage, A Letter to My Daughter, is very interesting because one, she never had a daughter of her own, but she really referred to everyone else around in the world who looked up to her as her daughters. And so she wanted to kind of put together in a few essays very informational and inspirational guidance for us living and going through life. And so that passage really reflects who you are as a person. First, you are beautiful, you're going to make mistakes. And I think it's very important when you're growing up throughout this life to know that you will make mistakes and to be kind to yourself when you do make mistakes. And so she kind of helps you through that to say that you're perfect the way you are. You are perfect in everything that you do. And when you make mistakes, just take responsibility and use that to help grow. And so she's a beautiful person inside and out. And you can see that reflected in all of her essays and writings.
Yeah, so actually, I'm like really big on that type of stuff, like
Yeah.
the women empowerment and making sure, everyone feels heard. Because I know,
Yeah.
especially with like this generation, a lot of people have trouble with that type of stuff, like,
Mhm.
girls and insecurities and things like that. And on my social media, I really try to get it out there, and I talk really strongly about it with my friends because it's something that I'm really passionate about. So
And
I'm
that's
gonna
amazing.
have
I'm
to read that.
actually truly impressed that you being so young, you already see the importance of people knowing this, right? And so I believe that as we're younger, we kind of get those values that are really important. And they're like your base that you're going to build yourself on. And as you bloom and blossom into life, these are important characteristics to know because believe it or not, both you, Victoria, and myself, we will constantly have and face issues in life.
Yeah.
But those issues should shape us as who we are. It should be like a sandpaper to make us smoother and better and stronger. And so, if you understand and accept the fact that you're going to face these things, you can appreciate when they happen and you'll be able to kind of overcome and be stronger. And that's my goal in mentoring young women. I want you to really know that not only can you achieve everything that you want to achieve, whether it be going to the moon for the first time ever, or to another planet, or being a doctor or a soldier, or being a nurse or a teacher or an engineer, it doesn't matter. You can achieve it. And I'm so happy and so proud of you for doing that for the
Thank
community.
you. Thank you. I think it's great that there's people like you and you that like exist and preach this type of stuff because it's such an important thing.
Yes, thank you. Just the same, I'm so excited about you because we need more of you around for
Yeah.
sure.
So if there's one single piece of advice that you can give to girls watching this interview that you have learned from both your iconic female figure and your own life journey, what would it be?
That is really, really hard. But the first thing that I would say, which really addresses what I think is one of the most common things that young people will say to me, is that we really struggle with understanding that our beauty is perfect. And so the one thing that I would say is that you are beautiful. You are beautiful. You were born beautifully. You're growing up beautifully. You will become even more beautiful over time. Just believe it. And it doesn't matter what the next person next to you thinks. There will always be negative energies. There are going to be trolls. There are going to be haters, whatever you want to call them. They're going to exist. But their purpose of existence is to make you better and to make you more beautiful and to make you stronger. So just remember, you are 100% beautifully made and beautiful the way that you are.
I love that. I think so many people need to hear that. I do. So thank you so much for this awesome interview. You're so amazing. I'm so glad I got to meet you and do this with you. I'm very, very excited.
Yes, and
So
Victoria, please continue what you're doing. You might not realize it now, but you're actually making a very, very huge impact on the world. And so sometimes you don't realize that until years later. But I promise you, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're just a giant among men and women. And I love that. You're going to be so awesome in life.
thank you. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Jasmine Garcia. I am currently a senior at the California State University of Fullerton. It is amazing to be a Wonder Girl, and I am so honored to be a part of the Wonder Girls United campaign. Today I will be interviewing Dayana Mendoza. Born and raised in Venezuela, Dayana is an incredible woman, mother, businesswoman, and humanitarian. In 2007, she won Miss Venezuela, and in 2008, she was crowned Miss Universe. She has volunteered for various nonprofit organizations around the world and is currently an ambassador for Aid for AIDS and Aid for Life International. With over 1.6 million followers on Instagram and 20 years of experience in entertainment, media, and fashion, she recently launched her online retail store. You can find her at DayanaMendoza.com. Hi Dayana, my name is Jasmine Garcia. I am so excited to meet you here today, and it is such an honor to have you participate in this year's campaign.
Jasmine, it's my pleasure. It is so nice to meet you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. So I'll just go ahead and jump right in. So you were crowned Miss Universe in 2008, and you had a year-long experience holding that title. I want to know, what did you learn during that time?
What did I learn? I learned a lot of things. I think what struck me the most and what I have carried since is the fact that that title and that opportunity doesn't really mean much unless you are using it for others. And with that said, also is everything that we put our mind and our hearts into is not ultimately is not, or it doesn't have to be for ourselves, but for others. So with that said, is how are we using our resources, our capacities, our abilities, the things that we have learned and known to share with others for the benefit of others.
It's amazing to hear what you have done with this title to help other people and help them sort of get to a better place. It's actually super nice. What do you think are some of the misconceptions that people have about being a beauty queen?
But the misconception that I had from pageants was that it was a platform, I guess, for girls to just be known on a very superficial way. And that's not the way that I have used it. I have been able to move from an idea to really a result. What do I do with this? And this has always been since 2008, fusioning my efforts and my work and my image with nonprofit, with organizations that are doing something for somebody else. And that takes discipline and consistency, because during the year, the title holders are always involved with nonprofit organizations. Though moving forward, most of them, or a few of them, or not all of them, will either decide to continue or not. But that's something that we put in our hearts, and that's something that it's part of who we are. And if we don't have it, we can ask God to give it to us, because it is really fulfilling to know that you are doing something that is helping others and is helping them have a better life.
Right, absolutely. I think that's one of the things that we've enjoyed most about seeing you take on this opportunity and just make something amazing out of it that's really inspiring to a lot of girls and young women as well. So often you're required to speak in front of a lot of people, right? You're required to show who you are, and to a lot of people that can be absolutely terrifying. How do you develop the confidence and the courage to put yourself on stage and do what you do?
just surrender to what's going to happen. And the more that you try to think of controlling things, the less of you really comes through. And that's when people feel you so robotic. That doesn't matter what you're giving them, what you're saying, they're not going to get it, because the ways that people mostly will hear you is when you speak from your heart, when there is truth that's coming out of you, and when you are actually feeling and living what you are saying. And that is, really all that matters, that you believe what you're saying.
Absolutely. That's amazing. One last question. If you could give any of the young girls watching here today advice, what would that advice be?
I the world where you guys are growing up into, and I don't want to feel like I'm your mama, because I'm not, but it's very different from the world that I grew up. And social media has changed so much our perceptions of what's real and what's not, and of life overall. What do we want to accomplish in life? And I see how we can waste our lives scrolling.
On social media, seeing things that are just so superficial. And it's like, no, stay true to yourself and do what's in your heart. And you've said it very beautifully. And so thank you so much for this wonderful interview. It's been amazing to interview you, to hear more about you, your passion. And you transmit that through this screen. And I'm really excited for the girls who get to hear this piece of advice and take it with them. So for all of you that are watching and are interested in following Dayana, you can follow her on all her social media accounts, and you can also follow her at dayanamendoza.com. Thank you so much.
Oh, Jasmine, so nice to meet you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ellie Kim. I'm 18 years old, and I'm a senior at Pascack Valley High School in Hillsdale, New Jersey. I love being a Wonder Girl, and I'm super excited to be part of this campaign. Today, I'll be interviewing April Hernandez. Born and raised in the Bronx, April's an actress, best-selling author, activist, and TEDx speaker. You might have first seen April when she played the leading Latina role in the award-winning movie Freedom Writers with Hilary Swank. She's also appeared in Showtime's Nurse Jackie, Person of Interest, ER, 30 Rock, Elementary, Law & Order SVU, The Following, Dexter, and NBC's New Amsterdam. Fueled by her personal experiences with domestic violence, April's a fearless activist and often travels to share her story of perseverance and survival by hosting live and virtual workshops for schools, youth organizations, and women on how to deal with the epidemic of intimate partner violence. She and her husband founded Parental Voices Matter, a program created to ignite, educate, and support underserved parents. Most recently, she published her memoir, Embracing Me, which is topped as a bestseller on Amazon. She believes the power of her voice has made her a courageous leader for her own family and children, as well as for others around the world.
Hi, April. It's nice to meet you. I'm Ellie. Thank you so much for being a part of our campaign and for sharing your story with us.
Thank you for having me.
I am very impressed by your resume, and I was just wondering if I could ask you a few questions about it.
Absolutely.
So I know that you recently wrote a memoir called Embracing Me, and that you chose to highlight a special woman who you include in your book. I'm just wondering exactly why and how she's influenced your writing.
Well, the woman I chose to honor was Yana Van Sant, and I've always been impressed by her story, how she was able to go from being in a abusive relationship for many years, being on welfare, to becoming who she is today, but not losing herself, and her ability to be transparent, right? Just putting herself out there really inspires me. And I love that she's just so down to earth when she speaks and how she helps people. And that's how, when I'm working with people, that's how I would want to sort of operate, just like that, where they get a real person who, although they have amazing things, that they also go through life, because we're all human.
I know that you shared your own personal life stories and experiences with domestic violence in your book. What do you believe is the most important takeaway from your book that girls like me and other women of all ages can learn from?
Oh, that's a great question. I think the greatest takeaway from my book, Embracing Me, is learning to love yourself no matter what. Learning to embrace all the things that, especially as young girls, make us feel quirky, or that one thing that makes us feel like an outsider is actually the coolest thing about you, probably, and embracing that part about you. So there were so many things that I embraced about myself as a young girl that along the way, just I was very fearless. And that was one of the things that I sort of lost when I was in an abusive relationship, and then just being in Hollywood, of allowing myself to feel judged, just on base of my looks. I sort of lost that. So I had to get back to that young girl of saying, this is who I am. Of course, I can always get better. But at the core of me is someone who is confident and loves life. And that's who I hold on to. So I would love for young girls to embrace themselves at an earlier age. So by the time you are my age, it's easier to deal with life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Self-confidence is definitely, I think, something that everybody, especially in high school, girls struggle with.
Right. I agree.
Yeah. Just wondering what your specific experiences were like in your career and in the corporate field.
So my experience in the corporate field, it was only for a short period of time, but I learned how they see people of color. I saw how they treated a person who was white compared to a person who was Black or brown. Just when it even came down to writing a resume, all the things that we don't think about that are important, that we need to focus on. And so I always encourage people, especially young people, to work at least one time in your life in a corporate office. You see the etiquette, you understand the language, you are around people with elevated thinking, which is, to me, the most powerful. But what I would hold on to was, I just knew my values and my core moral, of what I held on to, my integrity. That is how I have been able to navigate from the corporate world into the entertainment world, of just never losing that compass. And it's only up to you to decide what that is. And that's always going to be your anchor, right? You're going to go through all of the things in life, and people are going to judge you and not believe in you, or make you feel a certain way. Then it's up to you to say, what's important to me? How much do I love myself? How much do I worth? Like, how much I care about my worth as a human being. And those are the core things to keep you moving, no matter where you are professionally.
I think those were all the questions that I had, but I want to thank you again for just sharing your inspiring story and for taking the time to allow me to interview you.
Yes.
You can find April Hernandez on social media and purchase her book on Amazon.
Hi, I'm Yana Giannoutsos. I am 15 years old and I'm a freshman at Wilton High School in Wilton, Connecticut. It's amazing to be a Wonder Girl, and I'm so honored to be part of this Wonder Girls United campaign. Today I will be interviewing Magna Gopal, who is an internationally renowned coach, speaker, and dancer who has taken her 20+ years in the salsa dance industry to create meaningful lessons to help people improve their mindsets, movements, and communication skills in relationships. She was born in India but grew up in Toronto, Canada. While studying economics and international relations at the University of Toronto, Magna discovered salsa dancing. Her dance career has allowed her to travel to over 80 countries with the opportunity to teach thousands of students across the globe. She's a woman of many talents with an incredible smile that lights up a room. Her sense of curiosity, fearlessness, and resilience is admired by all. Hi Magna, my name is Yana. Thank you very much for being a part of our special Wonder Girls United campaign. I've really enjoyed reading about you, and I'm excited for today's interview.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you for participating, and I'm glad I got such a lovely interviewer.
Thank you. Okay, so first off, tell us, who did you pick for this campaign, and why did you pick them?
So I picked a book called Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. who is a famous Russian author who had moved to the US basically to leave Russia. And this book was something I had read when I was 16 for the first time. I believe I read it again a few years later as well. And there's something very powerful about this book, about all of the characters and the way that she writes, that made me decide that this would be the perfect book, a perfect choice for this segment.
How did this author and the characters in this book impact your life?
Well, when I first read it, I mean, I was quite young. I was 16 at the time. So it I think it's an advanced book to be reading at that age. I remember my high school teachers kind of saying, "Wow, you're reading that?" And I'd have this, and it looks like a Bible, it's like this big thick book. So they're like, "This is what you're reading for leisure? It's not even part of like any school project." But there's another character in this book called Dagny Taggart, and she is the co-owner of Taggart Transcontinental, which is a railway um, company in the United States. And she is a very, very powerful figure in this book. Like, she's intelligent, she's a go-getter, she's a problem fixer, she speaks with authority, she commands respect. So for me, as a female, as a young female, reading this book and then seeing her interactions with other people, seeing her interactions with her company, how she manages it, how she addresses even the people that work for her, it was very empowering. So for me, that was one of the reasons why I was drawn to this book and drawn to the characters, especially this particular female character, who is I would say, the main female character in the entire book.
Yeah, definitely. That character seems to really, like reflect what we're trying to accomplish here with Wonder Girls. So I think that's really empowering that that's a character in a book that you read when you were around my age.
Yeah.
So do you think that other girls in Wonder Girls and every girl can take away from reading this book and witnessing these characters?
For the Wonder Girls and for anyone who's listening out there, whatever you're reading, even if it's not something that necessarily resonates with how you believe or what you think is important, you can always find lessons. And ultimately, if you can find a way to grow from whatever you're engaging and spending your time in, then that's a mission well done.
Wow, that was very inspiring. And I love reading, so I think this sounds like a book that I'd definitely be interested in reading in the future. So on a larger scale, what does it mean to you personally to be a confident and an influential woman in today's society?
It means I have a lot of responsibility, but a lot of responsibility that I embrace with a huge smile on my face, because I think it's also a privilege to be in the position that I'm in, to be able to have that influence on a lot of people. I am fortunate to have, 20 years of experience in dance that's given me all of this insight into not just conversations with people, but also leading women and leading people in general, especially being like a solo female in a kind of a male dominated industry. So I kind of look at this opportunity and this new career path as a chance to share with the world, to share with young women, to share with just in general, the general public, ways that we can improve our conversations, improve our relationships, and improve ultimately our mindset. So, again, kind of like the whole reading thing, is to get the most that we can out of everything that we engage in, so that we can grow as individuals and then we can contribute in a more meaningful way to the relationships that we have.
Definitely getting the most that we can possibly get out of every interaction and thing that we engage in. I think that's a lesson that everybody should definitely follow in their lives. Thank you so much for this amazing interview. You're super inspiring, and I really loved your choice of book and how you took that as a chance to grow yourself and to like help your mindset through life. I think that's very inspiring. Anybody who's watching, you can find Magna on social media or at magnagopal.com. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, Yana. Thank you.